Stuart Sinclair, it's coming forward, and we have a wonderful surprise for you. Yes, we've got someone who's got a new direction, and I mean a new direction that's not completely new in terms of what you need to know, but what you need to hear is what Konstantin Pavlidis, this little gem of a person here, is going to talk about now, because he has got one, and I want him to impart some of it to you. Welcome. It's lovely to see you.
Good to be back, Stuart.
Now, besides setting things up in other places like Mongolia, tell us about what your new direction is going to be about.
Well, the Odyssey's, the new direction is about taking what I established in 2008, known as the Odyssey Vision Center, which originally began as what I call the Multifunction Center. And I thought, okay, let's start something different here, meaning that we offered classes, courses, workshops, we had speakers come, we had mini corporate events, we had performances take place and art exhibitions, etc. And most people that would attend thought, this is all very interesting, but you know, where's it headed and what's it all about? And actually, the majority of people that did attend were doing so thinking that it was just a venue. So we decided after about 18 months we need to focus on particular direction. So we focused predominantly on health and a lot less on the self-development and some research. Research basically in doing health analysis of the efficiency and effectiveness of our different types of therapies. Long and the short was that we've come to realize that health is still very much seen as the absence of illness here. People don't equate it to self-development. And my focus was on integrative medicine. Now that's a term that's been bantered around here and there in different countries. People have different opinions. You can have a center where there are half a dozen different therapists present there, but they don't actually work together from an integrative model. All that you've got basically is a supermarket type of situation where you've got choice. You've got the second option where there's what's called a gatekeeper. In Europe they call them polyclinics. And basically you have either a doctor or someone who hears about your overall condition and says, okay, now you're going to go here, there, and you're going to look at these people, basically be seen by these people, and we'll see how we can assist you. The integrated medical model originally, that was adopted from the States into this country by a doctor called Atkinson, was looking at health, lifestyle and its connection to spirituality. I think it didn't go down too well with doctors because they got questioned and what is spirit and the rest of it.
They got taken out of their comfort zone massively.
Yes, they did, and it is actually a comfort zone, and it's also something that's a bit obscure. And I understand. So a lot of the work I do is I work with hardcore Newtonian left brain scientists because they're the ones we need to convince. And if we do, because every doctor I've gone to so far says, sounds fascinating, do you have the clinical evidence? So I say, fine. So I'll go and get the clinical evidence first, in terms of the efficiency and effectiveness of meditation, breathing techniques that are ancient, visualization, stretching, strengthening, and qi development. What is qi? Is it a type of Chinese cheese? No, it's not actually.
I was thinking, is it Chinese tea?
Or cheese, I don't know, maybe they're saying something please. The whole point is it refers to life force and life generation, the manifestation of life itself. And so, in that system, there are 5 predominant forms. So they talk about the kidney energy, right, which is basically your adrenals, and that's known as Jing. Then there's Qi, where actually that is talking about your organization capacity in the organism, its ability to go back into balance. And then you've got the Shen, which is in the heart. So this is like the king of all of the Qis because it's about learning how to be present, not in your emotions on the personal level, but in that king's throne, where in the Sufi tradition, in the esoteric Christian tradition, it's known as the fire in the heart, and also the Eucharist, the chalice, in which we burn through all the impurities and we're left with our essential nature. And then you go, here it's called Wu Wei, which is action in inaction. Slow down and still all the monkey mind and the distraction so that you can see through life's eyes, not your own. Because our organs, our physical eyes, are linked to our survival instinct, obviously. we need to be able to see impending danger. So that's ancient, it's instinctive, and it's been there for hundreds of thousands of years. And then there's the Wuji, which basically means linking ourselves back to the unification principle, me and the oneness, universal consciousness, etc., which forms the foundation of all the, what we could call the Tai Chi, Qigong, and the Kung Fu way of man, and the breathing meditation techniques, all the yogas, which mean to integrate, not how can I twist myself into a knot like a pretzel, which is a different thing in itself, has some use, but...
Yeah, but not always.
Not always, yes. And the long and the short is that I looked at it and I said, look, how do we take all of this stuff I've been doing since I was a child and apply it to a modern urban setting? So if we look at the typical urban situation right across the board in any country, and obviously the bigger the city, the worse the situation gets, is that first we have the adrenal burnout syndrome. And that is related directly to the second cause, which is non-regenerative sleep.
Yeah.
And the third aspect associated with that is the anxiety.
Right.
Now, anxiety means that you're actually tuned into all of the different electromagnetic frequencies, radio waves, advertising, people that are around you. They are various forms of stimuli. Our body, our organism picks up, my biologist friends tell us now, approximately 20 million stimuli per second. Now have a guess how many of those get registered in our conscious mind. When I looked at the answer, my jaw dropped, really, literally.
Probably most of them.
Well, 40. That's a ratio of 1 to half a million. That means your left brain is very good at filtering out everything that's around you. Now when we were cave people or whatever, we were a lot more receptive to our external environment. We smelt a lot better, we saw and heard. The acuity of those two senses were phenomenal, and that has all but gone living in the city. And when you walk around plugging your ears with something to actually block you out from the external environment, everything starts going internal and you begin slowly to implode and deteriorate. So that is why we get so tired living in the city. And I know I take people out to retreats very regularly. We spend literally 2 days in nature, normally they're a week long. Everything has shifted in terms of the biomagnetic frequencies in your body and the acuity of being able to hear and smell and see. And that's because obviously we change our diet, and I have them spend quite a bit of time in listening to their breath and observing the thoughts in their mind and becoming more aware of the external environment. The long and the short is what we do now, guys, is what I'm targeting in terms of our integrative medical model, is what is the link between our psycho-mental, psycho-emotional and psycho-physiological makeup. Means the connection between our thoughts, feelings and our body. How do our thoughts affect our feelings? How do our feelings and thoughts affect our physiology? And we've got loads of scientific evidence. I mean literally tens of thousands of papers written. The only problem with science in the West is that usually a unit or a department gets commissioned to do X type of research, but they don't share it with anyone else.
No,
because it's being paid for by someone, and there's a particular aim and objective, and obviously there's an agenda. So not much of this information gets cross-referenced. There's some peer review, obviously, but that's very specialized in an article in that particular journal that the public don't normally get to see. So we set up Odyssey Media for the purpose of being able to interview and check and cross-reference this type of information so that people begin to become more aware and understand how they can manage their lives. And that's basically really what we're talking about. Intelligent, not blind and mindless life management. Because we're not really doing much of that. And that's the new direction. What is the link between our psycho-mental, emotional and physiological being toward intelligent life management? So that's RSC's new health direction. And in conjunction with that, I was basically placing about 90% of the emphasis on health, because I thought we've got to get people's health together before they can start thinking about anything else. Well, a census that took place in 2016 in the UK showed that 67% of the population are much less interested in their health and much more interested in how they look.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, we've got to find another reason for why a person should pay attention to their health. So the self-development. And there are lots of people that are interested in developing themselves here. So I've tied the two together, and that's the new sort of focus and intention. And I am quite certain that we're going to get some good traction and make some good
I can
headway.
tell you're very excited about it. How would people find out about you and the Oracy Centre?
Well, they can contact us obviously directly. It's orassy.com or Oracy Ultimate Health, because that particular, all one word, Ultimate Health, orasyultimatehealth.com, will show them a lot more about how things have been in terms of the health aspects of the Oracy and how we target. We have an 8-step program. The first 4 look at the basics, which mean blood pressure, glucose measurements, heart rate variability, oxygen uptake, and the electrical potential of our cell membranes. If you don't measure that, you're not measuring how healthy your cells are, and you could be dying of cancer and you wouldn't know it. So this is a quick way of getting all that in order. Then we have a doctor who is a mental health expert, and she also has worked with me now for 10 years. She will take the results of all of those tests, the instrumental tests, tell you what they mean, then start you off with the diet that suits you, given the results of those tests, and lifestyle. And then from there, you get passed on to doing 6 steps of the health program, which is learning how to quieten the mind, focus, so that we're talking about visualization, meditation, and breathing techniques, and then stretching, strengthening, and life-generating techniques. Chinese have been doing it for thousands of years. They live at least till 90 or 100 in a healthy way. I think we might be able to benefit from other parts of the world's knowledge.
Well, if anyone can convince people that they should be paying more attention to this, it will be you, Konstantin.
I hope so.
You're an inspiration, my friend.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing all the work that you do.
You're welcome. I am inspired actually, and it is a passion. I call it being inspired and impassioned by life.
Well, come and passion us a bit more.
Yes, I will.
In a couple of months' time when you're doing more things, because we want to keep in touch, all right?
Great.